It is my goal to give you 6 examples of physical and chemical changes and tell you how I know it's a physical or chemical change. So before I get started, what I want to do is I want to run through how I'm going to know. So physical properties and chemical properties, those are what I'm going to look at. Physical properties are things you can observe without changing the substance into a new substance. Things like color, hardness, boiling and freezing point. There are many others. So just things that you can observe without changing the chemical into something else. Signs of a physical change. Signs of a physical change. A state change, like between solid, liquid, and gas. A shape change, like folding or breaking. And you get no new formula. You get no new chemical. Over on the chemical side here, chemical properties, those are properties that you can't observe unless you actually make a new chemical. Is the chemical stable or is it reactive? Does it oxidize or does it help burn things? Or is it burnable? Or does it reduce things? That's probably not something you're going to see much in this class. That's a little bit more chemistry, but signs of a chemical change. There are several, but here's a few. New substances formed. That's kind of like saying the same thing as a new formula. You get a new substance. A color change is a very, very, very good one, or light is given off. So let's bring in the changes that I wanted to talk about. Let's look at this one. Here is somebody left their bicycle out and it got all rusty. So what do you think this one is? You think this is a chemical change or a physical change? Well, let's see here. New substance formed. Yes, we got rust. We had iron or steel or whatever, and now we have rusty steel. Color change, it was grayish metal, and now it's reddish brown. New formula, yes, we do have a new formula. What's the formula? Let's look at this. If we take the iron and leave it outside in the presence of oxygen, what we get is rust. So yes, we do have a new formula. So this is a chemical change. All right. So let me get rid of some of this stuff here. And let's bring in the next one. How about this one? What do you think about this one? Melting ice. What's your first thought? Physical or chemical change? Well, you might think, oh yeah, we got a new substance. We got some water from the ice. So no, unfortunately, that's not it. What we got here, or what we've got here, is a state change. We went from a solid to a liquid. Let me show you the formula. Solid water has a formula of H2O, that's ice, and if we add some heat to it, what we get is H2O, but now it's a liquid. So we've got the same formula on both sides. Since we've got the same formula, H2O and H2O, what really happened here was that the heat turned us from a solid into a liquid. So what we got is a state change. So this is a physical change. Okay. Let's see here. The next one. I'm not sure I'm doing this the best way, but we're going to do it this way. The next one. Tearing paper. I'm not going to write anything about this one because I think you should get this one pretty fast. Tearing paper. What do you have? It's a shape change. We had one piece of paper, now we have two. They're both still paper. We got no new formula, no new chemical. Okay, so that one was pretty easy. Next, how about this one? How about an apple getting ripe? What do you think? It's not a state change, not a shape change. New formula. Let's save that for a second. Color change. Yep, for sure. New formula. Well, is red apple skin the same thing as green apple skin? No, it's not. I'm not a biology guy. I don't know the formula, but I do know that it is a new substance. So yes, an apple ripening is a chemical change. Okay, and then I wanted to throw in a couple more, a couple of interesting ones. At least I hope they're interesting to you. Back in the 80s, or who knows, maybe even before that, you could buy something called a mood ring. What's a mood ring? It's something that changes color based on the temperature that it is. So if you put on this ring and your body temperature is one level, it's one color, and if you get warmer, it changes to another color. You could also buy these T-shirts that if you put your hand on them and they got warm, you would get a new color. So you might be thinking both of these are color changes. Well, these two are tricky. The mood ring is made up of something called a liquid crystal. And these liquid crystals, they line up funny depending on their temperature. And so they don't change into a new chemical. They just they change the way that they're oriented, or they change, I guess you could say they change their shape. So this one is a physical change. All right. And the shirt, this one is different because the shirt had all these little pockets, or I guess bubbles of several different chemicals. And when the temperature would get hot enough, these chemicals would react and you'd get a color change, a new substance would form. And then when the shirt cooled off, the chemical change would reverse and you'd get your original shirt back. So this one actually is a chemical change. So I just wanted to throw these two in because I thought they were kind of interesting. So there are 6 examples of physical and chemical changes. I wanted you to know that maybe any one property that you look at might not be a good idea. You might want to look at a few different properties to try and figure out whether it's a physical or a chemical change.